Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm coming to you from the Australia Centre in Australia House on a beautiful sunny spring morning in London. Today I really want to talk to you briefly about the UK and Northern European markets, but my focus will be firmly on the UK. Year to date, the UK has delivered more than 716,000 visitors, which is a 4% increase and very close to a record. The numbers you see on the slide are leisure related, and I'm including all visitor numbers inclusive in my comments to you. This achievement is despite some post-Brexit currency fluctuations, and of course we've also got to factor in we have a UK general election which is going to take place in June. But the UK continues to be one of Tourism Australia's most important markets for regional dispersal, leisure yield per visitor, youth passenger numbers, and length of stay. The two things I really want you to know about the market and its performance now is that there are some very real challenges, but also some great opportunities. The challenge that we are tackling head on is the economic uncertainty caused by Brexit, which to date has primarily affected the strength of the currency, the pound, which against the Aussie dollar has been down by as much as 18%. It's come back since Theresa May announced the general election for the 8th of June, but it's very volatile. However, on the plus side of the ledger, we have the Trump slump. So since President Donald Trump was elected, the market's really voted with its feet, and there is now an unprecedented opportunity presented by this Trump slump for Australia to steal market share from that market leader, the USA. To be specific about the size of the opportunity that the Trump slump provides, there's been a decline in the number of Brits traveling to the US in the order of 17%. Those are the figures from January, and there's no sign that that is abating. In fact, if anything, we're hearing from our tour operator and airline partners, some of whom have cut flights out of this market to the US, that is in fact being exacerbated. Flight searches are also down some 13%. And all of this is happening at a time when the number of Brits traveling abroad is up 9%. And indeed, the number of Brits traveling long haul abroad is up 8%. For the marketing experts that are listening to this presentation, I don't have to tell you this doesn't happen very often and gives us a once-in-a-decade chance to grow our brand. With these two factors, Brexit on the one hand and the Trump slump on the other, we've looked at the opportunity to dial up the Australian personality, given friendly locals are the fourth most important driver on the Consumer Demand Project's list. This is the list that potential UK and indeed holidaymakers around the world nominate as important factors for them when they're considering what they want in a holiday. So the push with friendly locals, which comes up as number 4 on our driver list, also addresses to some degree the Brits' concern about safety in other destinations. We, though, asked ourselves the question, what is the most effective way for the National Tourism Office or Board to share the story about friendly locals and why we, Australia, are a great alternative to a holiday in the USA? Would it, for example, be more meaningful if real people shared their own stories? We, of course, believe and came to the conclusion that it is the latter. And as a result, we've put advocacy and peer-to-peer recommendations at the very heart of our new financial plan for 2017-2018. We believe we have a huge opportunity to invite real people to share their experiences with terrific video and imagery to help us convince those really valuable first-timers to go. And we're working through the details of TA's global Facebook and YouTube deals to see how we can use these very strong channels to help us deliver on our ambitious advocacy objectives. We know that our target audience is heavily influenced by recommendations from family and friends, but we also know that value for money is key for the British traveller. They're real buggers for a bargain, and they want to be sure that they're getting value for money, even if they have pots of money. So the British holidaymaker is in a really strong position, considering that the capacity out of the UK is so strong. We're looking at close to 1,000 flight connections per week to Australia. And as a result, this is really helping to keep the flight prices to Australia low. Indeed, we are routinely seeing fares in the market for off-peak travel as low as £599 return. Those are historically low flight prices. Sure, they're at off-peak times of the year, but they're routinely available, and they're available on a number of days throughout the week, and they're available on very, very good carriers and a range of carriers on a variety of routes. Next financial year, we'll be working with 3 airline partners: Etihad, Qantas, and Singapore Airlines. And of course, we will continue to promote Virgin Australia's domestic network and the pass options that both Qantas and Virgin have. With regards to booking patterns, those travellers who haven't been to Australia before and who represent the best prospects in terms of spend and dispersal are still, in the main, booking through travel agents and tour operators. We will therefore continue our focus on the very successful, incredibly popular and award-winning Aussie Specialist program, training more agents to better sell our destination in the UK. And we're delighted that we've cracked the 2,500 Aussie Specialist number, and we've got at least that many who are also registered to become Aussie Specialists. We're looking forward to welcoming these Aussie Specialists from across the UK, Europe, and the USA to Corroboree West, which will be held on the Gold Coast in October. I've touched on the opportunities of the Trump slump and what that provides to the UK market for Australia. The prediction is there's going to be a 7% fall in visitor numbers to the US from all markets around the world. So Tourism Australia sees this as a tremendous opportunity for us. We'll also see the game-changing Qantas non-stop direct flight from London to Perth and vice versa. And just today, the tickets have gone on sale. The first tickets are on sale today on the 27th of April. So it's a terribly exciting time for those people looking to fly for the first time non-stop from London to Australia. We think the new flight's going to generate a lot of noise in the market. It's going to, of course, cut several hours off the flight time, and it's going to create a gateway to the west of Australia that will have benefits beyond Perth and Western Australia. Indeed, we think the benefits will flow to South Australia and the Northern Territory as well. We also have the Ashes series, and with just over 6 months to go, tour operators, the ones that we're working with, and that's some 10 or 12 of the big and or specialist ones up here, have already sold more packages for this upcoming Ashes series than they did for the previous one. And I believe Both teams have won an equal number of times. So there's a lot at stake with this Ashes series. And we think it's going to do an incredible job for Australia. The Commonwealth Games, we also know, will attract many athletes and their families and provide us with a terrific media opportunity to promote the city, the Gold Coast, and the surrounding region for longer-term tourism benefits. We have exciting plans for a new global youth campaign that's going to build on the success of our previous work this year, which has seen an increase in youth passenger numbers in the order of some 10%, and terrific results from the specialist youth providers that we worked with on a couple of campaigns. STA, Student Universe, Kilroy, UCIT, they've all got really good results from the work that we've done collectively. However, we need to have a sharper focus on promoting the working holiday visa, as applications for this program have contracted. They're down about 4%. And we know that as the market that delivers the largest number of those working holiday visa makers, that reserve pool of labor and those people who are keen to work in the hospitality and tourism industry in regional and remote parts of Australia are really important for you as tourism operators. So we're looking forward to having an even sharper focus on this program. I'd be happy to talk to you during our question and answer session at ATE, or indeed you can email me any questions you may have about how you can get involved in our market and align your activities. For those of you who are not new to this market, you will know there are opportunities like ATE, Corroboree. We're looking at the new or European product workshop, and of course we've got the Aussie Specialist Program and other resources and images and galleries available for you. But I'll let you read that detail on the screen in the interests of time. The second point I'd like to make about the information on this screen is that we think it's really interesting that for the first time, all of the 5 new buyers that we are bringing to ATE are indeed from Northern Europe. It's a strong comment on how well Australia is performing in these markets, with growth in the order of some 4 to 5% on average. And these markets combined are delivering about 165 to 175,000 passengers to Australia. And as many of you will know, we have a very light touch approach in those markets, but clearly that approach is working and those markets are very successful for Tourism Australia. In conclusion, I'd just like to say that in our opinion, the UK market is at a crossroads. I've outlined some very significant challenges, but I hope you've also come to appreciate the great opportunities that the Trump slump is delivering potentially for Australia out of this market. And given the size of this market, the spend of our visitors, and the fact that they go deeply and widely into our country, we think that there's everything to play for. And I can tell you that the team and I are going to turn up and we're going to be fully engaged and doing absolutely everything we can with you to make the best use of this once-in-a-decade opportunity that the Trump slump provides to grow our visitor numbers, increase their spend, and significantly take market share from the USA. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to seeing many of you at ATE.